My dad accidentally forgot to hang up the call. She's a burden. A disappointment. Should have never been born. I listened in silence. I'd been covering their $2,100 bills for 6 years. Next week, I sold my luxury $870,000 property, transferred titles, and disappeared. They came back from their European vacation smiling until the key didn't fit. The house was empty. And taped to the door, a sticky note. Surprise! This is what a burden can do. My dad forgot to hang up the call. That's how it started. I wasn't supposed to hear any of it. I had called him about some car title paperwork, nothing major, just another errand I'd quietly handled for him, like I always did. He said he'd check a folder in the garage and put the phone down. Didn't hang up. Just left it on the coffee table, maybe didn't even notice. At first it was silence. Then footsteps. A couch creaked. And then his voice. She's a burden, he said. Clear. Cold. Like it was just a fact. She's a disappointment. Should have never been born. I didn't move. Not at first. Just sat there, phone pressed against my ear like a child listening at a closed door. He wasn't angry. That's what got me. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't venting. He was just talking. To my mom, I think. Maybe to himself. Didn't matter. The words landed the same way. A burden. A disappointment. 6 years. I'd been covering their mortgage shortfalls, credit card debt, utility bills they never told anyone about. Quietly. Without a single demand. Without ever throwing it in their face. Even that month, I'd sent $2,100 to cover their insurance premiums because my dad's back injury meant he couldn't work right now. And yet here I was. The burden. The accident that should have been avoided. I didn't hang up. I just let the call run, long past the point they realized it was still connected. Heard the microwave beep. Laughter in the background. Casual domestic peace as if they hadn't just gutted their only daughter from the inside out. When the call finally cut off, whether he noticed or the battery died, I didn't cry. I didn't speak. I didn't move. I just sat there, staring at the window like it might have an answer. I don't know how long I was frozen like that. Time doesn't work the same when everything inside you just stops. The next day, I went to the bank. Not for revenge. Not yet. Just to check things. The mortgage on my luxury property was nearly paid off. The last appraisal put it at $870,000. I had options. Quiet power. No one knew it but me. I booked a meeting with my real estate lawyer. Asked about transfer options. Title shifts. Privacy protocols. I didn't even flinch when he told me how much I'd net from a private cash sale. Every part of it felt mechanical, like I was assembling a machine I didn't fully understand yet, but one I knew I had to finish building. I didn't tell anyone. Not my friends. Not my coworkers. Definitely not my family. I went to work. I smiled at neighbors. I sent the usual, have a great trip, text when my parents flew off to Europe for their vacation, a trip I'd helped them afford, by the way, when they were too stretched after refinancing the house last fall. Then I packed my things. All of them. Quietly. Efficiently. I sold the house. Transferred the deed. Changed all forwarding addresses. And disappeared. Let them smile in Rome. Sip wine in Lisbon. Pose in front of the Eiffel Tower. Let them enjoy every moment until the key didn't fit. Until they saw the sticky note on the door. Surprise. This is what a burden can do. I didn't always think of myself as useful. That came later. First, I was just the responsible one. The planner. The fixer. The daughter who paid attention. Who never missed a bill, a birthday, a deadline. Who made her own way, kept her head down, made good money and asked for nothing. And at first I thought that was enough. They didn't ask me for much. Not directly. It started with things like, your dad's back is acting up again, could you spot the water bill this month? Or your brother's tuition deadline snuck up on us. We'll pay you back, of course. But they never did. And eventually they stopped pretending. When they needed $1,800 for new windows after the storm, I sent it. When their car broke down and they called in a panic from the side of the road, I covered the repairs. When their property taxes went overdue and my mother cried on the phone, I wired the money same day. No questions. No complaints. Just support. Then came the joint accounts. A family card for emergencies only. My name on their mortgage, just temporarily to help with refinancing. Then I noticed my credit score dropping. Quietly. Slowly. Like a bruise spreading under skin. I confronted them once about a weird charge from a luxury furniture store. My dad laughed and said, we thought you wouldn't mind. You don't spend on yourself anyway. My mom just said it was for the house. It's yours too, technically. Technically. When my uncle had surgery, I paid half the hospital bill without even being asked. They sent me the invoice, assuming I'd just handle it. I did. When my sister's wedding needed a venue deposit, they called it a family gift from you. That one wasn't even a conversation. Just a charge that showed up on my bank app at 3 a.m. I stared at the number $6,700 and told myself it was fine. Because they'd do the same for me. Right? But no one ever did. I moved twice in 3 years and not one of them lifted a box. When I got bronchitis and asked my mom if she could bring soup, she said she was too tired from yoga. When my birthday came, they texted a GIF. A glitter cupcake and a hope it's a good one. No call. No visit. But when their birthdays rolled around, I was expected to show up with flowers, gifts, reservations. When I forgot once, I got a cold silence from my mom for 3 weeks. I told myself it wasn't worth fighting over. That some people just express care differently. That maybe I wasn't being generous enough. I gave more. I worked harder. I made sure there was always enough in the account. I did the math. $2,100 a month, every month, for 6 years. That's $151,200. But I didn't think about it like that. Not until that call. She's a burden. Not just forgotten. Not just taken for granted. A burden. A weight. Something that made their lives worse just by existing. I replayed it every night that week. I could hear the clink of his coffee mug, the rustle of the newspaper, the sigh in my mother's voice as she agreed we should have sent her away when she turned 18. They were planning their trip to Europe while I sat in a rental apartment I paid for in cash so I could transfer the property deed without noise. I kept every email from the agent. Every wire confirmation. Every screenshot. The house I bought, my dream home, was now empty. All furniture donated. All accounts closed. My name taken off every shared account. One by one, every last thread severed. But I still hadn't told them. Because I wanted them to feel it. And that moment came faster than I expected. A week later, I got a text from my sister. You still covering mom's therapy this month, right? No, hi. No, how are you? Just the same assumption, the same entitlement. I replied, of course. Then opened the portal and canceled the payment. Permanently. That weekend, they posted photos from Paris. My dad smiling under the Eiffel Tower. My mom in a beret holding wine. Caption, still living the dream. I watched the video twice. Saw the glint of the ring on my mom's finger. The one I bought for their 35th anniversary. They never said thank you. Just wore it like it was always theirs. I logged out and didn't check again. The final transfer had gone through. The new owners of my property had the keys. I left nothing behind. Not a single photo. Not a fork. Not even a coat hanger. Just a sticky note on the front door. And a surprise. Because I wasn't their bank anymore. I wasn't their fixer. I wasn't even family. I was the storm they never saw coming. They got back from Europe on a Thursday. I knew the date. I'd been tracking their return like a meteorologist watches a coming storm, not with fear, but with quiet precision. Their last Instagram post was a boomerang of wine glasses clinking under Venetian chandeliers. My mom captioned it family first. Always. I didn't even flinch. The house was already gone. But they didn't know that yet. They landed, smiling and sunburned, wheeling their matching luggage through customs, thinking the world was still the same. That I was still where they left me, loyal, quiet, useful. They probably thought they'd come home to their driveway, step out of the Uber, and walk back into the life I'd funded for 6 years. Except the driveway was empty. No car. No lights. And when they pulled out their keys, they didn't fit. I pictured it in full color, my dad frowning at the lock, jiggling it like that would change physics. My mom trying hers next, then both of them standing there in silence, waiting for something to make sense. Until they saw the sticky note taped to the front door. Yellow. Cheap. Unmistakable. Black Sharpie. Block letters. Surprise. This is what a burden can do. I didn't leave my name. Didn't need to. The mailbox was gone too. Removed. Dismantled. The alarm system deactivated, the utilities transferred, the HOA notified. The family portraits on the hallway wall? Gone. The monogram towel set I bought them last Christmas? Donated. Their home is where the heart is sign? In the trash. Everything was clean. Sterile. Like they never lived there. Like I'd erased the last remnants of their comfort while they were busy drinking Bordeaux and playing European royalty. And I had. Not to punish them, that would imply emotion. I did it because clarity had finally arrived. I wasn't seeking payback. I was simply closing a chapter that had quietly ended long ago. They called, of course. Dozens of times. At first it was confusion. Hey, we're locked out. Can you check with the alarm company? Then is the garage code changed? Then panic. Where's the furniture? Why isn't the Wi-Fi working? Why is your number disconnected? I didn't answer. By midnight, they'd called every sibling, every cousin. They thought maybe it was a mistake. A robbery. A prank. But then my mom called my work number, the one no one uses, and left a voicemail in that broken glass voice she saves for real emergencies. Please just tell us what's going on. We're at a hotel. The house it's empty. The neighbors said a moving truck came last week. Was that you? Did something happen? Yes. Something happened. I heard you. I kept that voicemail. I listen to it sometimes. Not out of joy, there's no pleasure in this, but as a reminder that even after calling me a burden, even after draining my bank account and erasing me from every family moment that mattered, they still expected help. That's what cracked me in two. That's what made everything snap. The moment I realized they would never change. That no matter how much I gave, how many bills I paid, how many birthdays I remembered, I would always be optional. Useful. Expendable. They cried the loudest when the money disappeared. Not when I did. I gave them 6 years of quiet loyalty. They gave me silence and expectation. A burden. A disappointment. An accident that survived. So I left them exactly what they earned. Nothing. The fallout started the next morning. By 7:13 a.m., I had 42 missed calls. My mom left 3 voicemails in a row, each one more desperate than the last. The first was confusion, the second panic, the third full-blown breakdown. We just need to talk. Please, just tell us what you did. I didn't reply. Instead, I logged into the final banking portal. The one they forgot I had access to. The joint savings account I had once created, just in case of emergency. It still had $12,000 in it, mostly from me. I clicked once. Transferred it to a private trust. Closed the account. Gone. Then I went after the insurance. The house they used to live in? I still had the policy in my name. They'd never changed it over. So I canceled it. Notified the company that the property had been sold. Watched the confirmation email hit my inbox with a small, detached sense of completion. One more tie cut. One less lie holding us together. That afternoon, my dad emailed me. A long, pathetic thing. No subject line. Just 600 words of half blame, half begging. He said he didn't mean what I heard. That I misunderstood. That burden was about the situation, not about me. Then he asked if I could at least help them find a lawyer to look into what happened with the house. Said the new owners had changed the locks illegally. I almost laughed. Illegally? They had no idea the property hadn't been in their names for over a year. I transferred the title to a shell trust I'd built with my accountant, the same trust that now owned the LLC that sold the house in cash. It was layered, secure, untouchable. They weren't just locked out of a house. I finally stepped away from the dynamic. By day 3, my sister chimed in. The same one who used to send me screenshots of her Venmo request with, "You got it right?" like it was a joke. She texted, "You're really gonna do this to mom and dad? After everything they've done?" I read it twice. Everything they've done. That line stayed in my head like static. Like white noise that wouldn't shut off. She meant the dinners I wasn't invited to. The holidays I paid for but watched from my couch. The therapy I covered so my mother could work through stress caused by my existence. She meant all of it. All the erasure. All the exploitation. Wrapped up in one casual guilt trip. I didn't respond. Instead, I filed the final motion. The estate planning documents I'd drawn up 2 months ago. The ones that removed my family from every emergency contact, medical directive, and asset designation. I submitted them that Friday. By Monday, they were legally locked out of everything. No more accounts in their name. No more fallback plan. They didn't lose a house. They lost their favorite crutch. And maybe I enabled that for too long, thinking I was helping when I was really just delaying the inevitable. I called the storage unit too. The one I'd been quietly paying for, full of their keepsakes and heirlooms and boxes they swore they'd come pick up soon. I gave them 30 days notice. No extension. No warning. A legal eviction letter was delivered on Tuesday. They messaged the unit company in a panic. Said it was a mistake. It wasn't. I sold every piece of furniture I bought for them. The couch. The antique sideboard. Even the coffee machine they used to joke was too fancy for them, the one they insisted on taking anyway. I posted it all online. Watched the listings disappear one by one. Every item gone within 2 days. And when the PayPal balance cleared, I made one last transfer. To myself. No note. No message. Just peace. The group chat finally went silent. No more passive-aggressive memes. No more attempts at manipulation disguised as jokes. Just silence. My mother's last post was an old photo of us when I was 8, with a caption that ended, "You always were so sensitive." It didn't sting. It confirmed everything. Because I wasn't sensitive. I was done. They never got the sticky note back. They tried, of course. Drove back 3 days later, this time with a locksmith. But by then the locks had been replaced, the mailbox removed, the ownership sealed behind corporate filings they couldn't untangle if they tried. The locksmith refused to break entry. Said the deed was in another name. They left in silence. I watched it happen. Not from a distance, not from another country or across a screen. From 2 blocks away in a car they didn't recognize, engine off, parked beneath a dying elm tree. I watched my parents step out of that Uber like royalty returning to a kingdom that didn't want them anymore. My dad looked older. Smaller. My mom didn't speak. She just stood on the porch, staring at the door like it might open out of guilt. It didn't. They left 10 minutes later. The house stood quiet. So did I. That silence, final, absolute, was the real ending. No grand confrontation. No fight in the driveway. No screaming match about family or forgiveness. Just the realization that they'd lost access to the only person who ever kept them afloat. They didn't cry because they missed me. They cried because the money was gone. They cried because the safety net had been cut and burned. And to be fair, that net was real. I built it out of care. But care without respect eventually collapses. They cried because the backup plan disappeared and the burden was the only one who ever had a plan. And I made sure they felt every inch of the absence. I deleted the family group chats. All of them. Removed myself from every thread, every shared photo album, every Google Calendar they once used to schedule holidays I wasn't invited to. I didn't leave a message. Just silence. A few days later, I got a letter. Not handwritten. Not even signed. Just a folded sheet from a paralegal, something about misunderstandings and potential estate clarification. I didn't open it. Just dropped it in the shredder and went back to my tea. 2 days after that, my old neighbor texted. Your parents came by again. Looked confused. Just stood in the driveway. Confused. Like this wasn't years in the making. Like this wasn't earned. I blocked the number. They stopped trying to call after the second week. I think the realization finally sank in. Not just that they'd lost access to the house, but that they'd lost access to me. Entirely. My sister tried last. Texted from a different number. The message was short. Are you really never going to speak to us again? No greeting. No apology. Just disbelief. Like it was unthinkable that I could exist without them. I didn't respond. Instead, I went for a walk. The air was cool that evening, sharp with the scent of rain still sitting in the grass. I walked past stores I used to run errands in for them. The pharmacy where I picked up my mom's prescriptions, the bakery where I bought cakes no one thanked me for. They were all just buildings now. Nothing attached. No weight. No debt. I breathed. It felt like the first breath in years. There's something people never understand about being the quiet one. The helper. The one who never makes waves. They think you'll keep doing it forever. They think silence means permission. They think absence of complaint is agreement. But silence isn't peace. Sometimes it's planning. And now? Now they rent a condo on the edge of town. I saw it listed once when I was apartment hunting a year ago. Cheap flooring. Peeling paint. Street-facing windows with no light. I wonder if they ever look out and wonder where it all went. I wonder if they remember that night. The sticky note. Surprise. This is what a burden can do. They don't post much anymore. My mom used to fill her feed with brunches and spa days and family-first captions. Now it's just quiet reshared quotes. Don't burn bridges, one said. They don't know the bridge was never theirs. They were just standing on it while I built the road underneath. And when I walked away, the whole thing fell. My bank is quiet now. No withdrawals I don't remember authorizing. No auto payments for electric bills I never used. No Venmo pings from people who only say hi when rent is due. The money I used to send out like blood pumping from a weak heart? It's still there. Stacking. Growing. And used. Mine. I moved into a new place. Not bigger. Not louder. Just mine. Every lamp, every curtain, every chair, chosen by me for me. No guilt woven into the walls. No reminders of what I gave away without thanks. Just quiet. Just space. Just ownership. I sleep more now. Deeper. My dreams don't wake me anymore with thoughts like, did I forget to transfer the money? Or will she be mad if I say no? Those voices are gone. And the space they left behind is beautiful. Some nights I still hear the call. The one he forgot to hang up. She's a burden. A disappointment. Should have never been born. But now I let the words echo. I don't fight them. I don't explain them away. I don't defend myself to ghosts. I just listen. And then I remember. That house? That was mine. That silence? Also mine. That note? Final. And I go back to sleep.